Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at a really fascinating text, the Book of Enoch. Ancient, influential, but, well, mostly forgotten. Our goal is to figure out why this book, which really mapped out early ideas of hell and judgment, got left out of the main religious canons. And here's the kicker, the really surprising part. Enoch says the original sin, humanity's big fall. It wasn't about an apple. No, it was about a pact between humans and these fallen angels called the Watchers. A forbidden deal.
Exactly. We're looking at what is basically the source code for a lot of apocalyptic ideas. It's not just some obscure text. It reads almost like, well, an ancient investigation into how evil really got started, how these watchers gave humanity knowledge it just wasn't ready for.
Right. Let's get into that. Because it wasn't just simple temptation or lust, was it? Enoch flips the script. He frames the original sin as getting these forbidden arts, like early tech mixed with really destructive vanity. The Watchers taught humans how to fight and how to deceive.
They really did. The text is surprisingly specific. It mentions metallurgy, so making weapons, right? Shields, swords, all that. And at the same time, cosmetics and adornment. Things for seduction, for vanity, for, misrepresenting yourself. This knowledge dump was seen as totally catastrophic. It just shattered the natural order, leading straight to violence and lies.
Wow. So it's not humanity reaching for knowledge, it's knowledge dangerous knowledge, technology, vanity being pushed onto us by these outside forces.
And the chaos just spirals from there. The immediate result, the Nephilim, these monstrous giants born from the Watchers and human women. They were apparently huge, destructive, just consumed everything and eventually turned on people. Total chaos.
Okay, wait. So if these giants caused all this havoc, what happens when they die? Because, and this seems key, this whole narrative seems to sidestep the usual story about Satan's rebellion being the root of all evil. Where do the bad things, the evil spirits, come from in this version?
That really raises the big question. Did the Book of Enoch basically invent demons as we think of them? Because the text says when these giants died, their spirits, being immaterial, had nowhere to go. They became these, polluting forces, those spirits of the demons and devils. So the blame here lands squarely on the Watchers and their giant offspring, not necessarily Lucifer.
And this cosmic drama, it leads Enoch himself on this incredible journey, right? He gets a tour of the heavens after seeing all this mess on Earth. He maps out the cosmos, but it sounds less like theology and more like divine infrastructure, almost bureaucratic.
Oh, absolutely. He gave readers a detailed roadmap, judgment seats, how the stars and planets move, even like shift changes for the angels across seven heavens. It's this incredibly detailed structure of the universe and the afterlife. It was hugely influential. You see echoes in later Jewish mysticism, even some early Islamic ideas about the cosmos.
Right. So if it was so important, laid so much groundwork, why the big omission? Why did it get cut from the Jewish canon and later the main Western Christian ones? I mean, finding bits of it in the Dead Sea Scrolls was a massive deal, historically speaking.
Yeah, that omission is kind of a historical mystery thriller. For Jewish traditions, some felt it was maybe too speculative, too focused on angels and weird calendar stuff.
Right.
For the early Christian church, the main theory revolves around theology. The Book of Enoch talks about a specific pre-existent Messiah figure. And that idea, well, it seems it clashed with how the doctrines about Christ's nature were solidifying later on. Essentially, the book's version of the story didn't quite line up with where the mainstream theology was heading, so it kind of got quietly sidelined.
So think about what this means for you listening. The Book of Enoch offers this really powerful, alternative, ancient story about where chaos, war, and evil come from. A version where the first sin wasn't disobedience, but maybe the reckless introduction of technology and vanity by these angelic beings.
Right. And if you consider just how much of our pop culture, our fantasy, our horror giants, demons, cosmic structures traces back to this one book that got left out, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other foundational stories, what other explanations for evil or the cosmos might still be out there, just waiting in the shadows outside the standard history books?